in the mining industry, because times are changing, the skill levels have to evolve to keep cope with the times, and that is what SCMS or Skill Council is trying to do. And also it does lots of training programs and conferences to build capacity and share knowledge among different stakeholders. And this next will be seeing few case studies of what the industry has been doing. This is a case study from the underground lead zinc mine in Hindustan Zinc, which has focused greatly on exploration, and due to their aggressive exploration program, they have depth up to a 1 kilometer, more than a 1 kilometer depth, and found out new reserves, because unless you find new resources, then you are going to run out of the minerals in a few years' time. So that has been the focus, and as a result of that, they have discovered resources around 30 million tons, and the life of the mine has increased beyond 25 years. Next is an example from an open cast chromite mine of Tata Steel, where SDF was launched for the first time in India. And what they have done, we are speaking of organic food these days, so this company has gone for organic beneficiation of minerals. So what in the chromite beneficiation process, chromium-6 or hexavalent chromium is a toxic element. So instead of using chemicals, they were looking for other processes that can reduce the chemical footprint, and as a result, they found out a plant product called harida, which is commonly used in Ayurveda, and that is being used to reduce this chromium-6. And now they have eliminated the chemical use, and as a result, they have gone into organic beneficiation, you can call it, and the water consumption has also drastically reduced. And they have also patented the technique, and they are doing it in a great way. And if you see the bottom picture, you could see on a single ton, they are using two techniques. So it was an experimentation to see that the bottom one are the geocoir mats here, and the uppermost benches, they have the vetiver grass. So they were experimenting, which is giving good results for them, and they'll adopt whatever is working well. So I'll like to write that sustainability also is an experimentation. You have to experiment with a lot of things to achieve sustainability. It's not that it's written or prescribed things that will give you the sustainable results. You have to try a lot of things and see what fits there. Next, this is a coal mine operated by Adani Enterprises. And this mine is a very young mine. They started only in February 2013. But till now, within 4 years, they have mined the land, they have backfilled the land with waste and soil, and they have planted trees. And by the time, they have recovered around 56 hectares of land till February 2017. So within 4 years, they have mined as well as reclaimed large area, and the key to that has been a tree transplanter, the machine which you can see on the top. So what this does is it picks the trees along with its roots, which would have otherwise been cut off, and then it takes and plants. So this way it saves the trees from being cut off. And they are also using surface miner, which eliminates drilling and blasting, and lots of environmental efforts have been there. So it's not just one element, and I may be showing just one element of the aspects, but there are a whole lot of activities going on to achieve this. And you could see the trees in the middle of the picture. These are the trees which have been saved using tree transplanter. Next is the open cast limestone mine of Ambuja Cement, where due to lots of water management systems, earlier the salinity barrier, that's the seawater goes underground onto the inland, and the salinity barrier, because of their efforts, has come back, has reduced, has been retreated towards the sea. And as a result, farmers are able to get 3 crops for a year. The agricultural productivity has increased by almost 3 times. So this is another example of Dantewada, I think we were discussing in the previous session. This is a mine of NMDC Limited, which is doing excellent CSR work. And what they have done, they have established residential schools for the children who have been orphaned due to Naxalism. And also they have established the Apollo Hospital, which is a unit of Apollo Hospital in Dantewada, and anyone who comes, whether it's a tribal or any person, gets treatment free of cost. And this is what the industry is doing even in the Naxalite core of India. And the entire development of the Bastar region has been because of NMDC's presence. And this is another example of Maheshwari minerals in Andhra Pradesh, where it's a minor mineral, a very small mine, less than 50 hectares, where they have adopted almost 12 of the tribal villages and doing excellent work, and also established system of pensions and all. So this is to inform you that it's not only the larger mines which are doing excellent work. Even the smaller mines are doing things in their own way and trying to be making an impact on the sustainable development of the tribal regions in the remote hinterlands of the country. And what we need, so what we have seen is just a glimpse of what the industry has been doing. And it's not the responsibility of the company or a single company to develop the entire district. A single mine may or may not do. So it has to be a holistic approach. Everyone has to contribute in their own ways, in a way where they can make maximum impact on the society. And the need of the hour is that there has to be collaboration between the government. So as we see, there are two parallel processes. There's a government processes, a regulatory process which has been there. There's an industry-driven processes. And the system of both converging together has also started through the SDF and star rating scheme. So a system has been created where sustainability has been promoted in a huge way. And then what needs to be done are two things. One, since the ecosystem has been created, we need to sustain that system. And second, there has to be multiple stakeholders coming together and engaging so that the system can be driven. And I believe these are the two things which will drive the sustainable mining in India in a great way. Thank you.
You're finished?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ashis, for a very thought-provoking exposure to the various measures being taken by industry towards sustainable development. Now, what I'll do is not to disturb the flow of the presentations. We'll have the questions after all the panelists have made their contribution. Otherwise, the flow of presentation gets a bit disturbed. So I will now request Bipul Pathak, who is the Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Mines, who is handling the policy division of the Ministry of Mines, to kindly make his points to the audience. I would request Mr. Pathak to slightly introduce himself also a bit, because I have not been given a sheet of your biodata, which I would have done as my job was, but then you can do a little bit of self-introduction.
Yeah, I don't have a presentation, so I must thank the organizer.
And now we have Mr. Bipul Pathak, our panel chairperson, currently posted as Joint Secretary, Ministry of Mines. Mr. Pathak has held various prominent positions throughout his career. Sir is an avid reader and has a book of gemstones credited to him. We welcome you, sir. Now I invite him to address the gathering.
I must thank the organizers, especially Ashis, who pestered me to come to this conference, and I am glad that I am here. Ashis made the history of how SDF, the Sustainable Development Framework in the mining sector, came about. I won't repeat that. Couple of things about the same framework I'll first mention, and then I'll talk about other policy initiatives which the Ministry of Mines is taking. One of the key features of the Sustainable Development Framework is that it is a self-certification framework by the miners. So the framework has been prepared by the government, the Ministry of Mines. At least for the major minerals, it is mandated under law. And by March 2019, all the mines in the major mineral sector have to comply to it to become either 4-star rated or 5-star rated. And if you don't do that by improving your various parameters, then you will have to close down. So that is another part of the legal framework for SDF. The other thing is that when you start your process of star rating of your mine as a miner, then you do your self-certification first. And you claim that, okay, you have 4 stars, 5 stars, or maybe less than that. And then it is verified by the mining regulator, which is the Indian Bureau of Mines. They tell you years and then it will continue. Currently what we are doing in the star rating system is that we have a plan that the minor minerals which are under the administration of most of the state governments should also get included in it. Although it's a very big challenging task because there are too many minor minerals. But it will happen over a period of time. There's a committee in the ministry which has already approved a different template for minor minerals. It is slightly less rigorous in terms of the framework and the applicability. And it will be offered to all the state governments for them to follow and administer. The Ministry of Mines may not be directly involved in administering, but by law, it doesn't have to do it. And the state governments by law have to do that. But this is an initiative which we have taken to facilitate the state governments and provide them the electronic platform as well, so that they are able to at least kickstart the process. And if I'm not wrong, there are probably 100,000 mines of minor minerals. It's a big task for most of the state governments. Another futuristic addition which that exercise has been done, as you may be aware that the fresh IAS officers come for 3-4 months in our ministries now as assistant secretaries and work with us. So this year's officers were tasked with me, and then they have done a good job of taking the framework a little further, pushing the envelope. And then we may end up with another framework in a few years' time down the line of actually classifying the minerals and whether you should, just like blood diamonds. In diamond industry, there are certain category of mines where illegal underage labor and other illegal activities happen, and those diamonds are called blood diamonds. We may take it to certain category of major mineral that okay, if you are not following a particular process and you are not sustainable, then those mines and the minerals coming out of those mines may become kind of out of bounds. And it will happen over a period of time. We will have to evolve the framework, and we may end up doing that. This concept has now recently come in, and it will be presented before the committee, and probably our boys may end up presenting it to the Honorable Prime Minister if they win the competition. So that's how it goes. But they have introduced a new concept, and that is the whole idea of younger officers coming and bringing in the latest things into the frameworks. So this is all about star rating, and I am sure that most of the people who are from the industry are aware of all these things. Regarding other policy initiatives, all of us are aware that the Major Mineral Administration Act was amended in January 2015, and rules were also amended. But after 2 years, a review has also happened. The proposed amendments in the mineral concession rules are already in the public domain. So you can go, those who are students of this subject, they can go and see what kind of amendments are there and what is the genesis of those amendments. That is also uploaded to understand academically. And those who are in the industry, I am sure they are aware, and they will be making points, or they will be giving us suggestions to finalize those rules. In addition, even Mr. Srivastava also mentioned, and Ashis also mentioned, about the mineral security and other issues connected with that subject. Currently, the focus is shifting in the mining industry. Those who are from the industry, they know that we have iron ore line of the 30 million tons at the pit heads of low grade iron ore is lying, and nobody is buying. The industry probably doesn't require that kind of ore. And similarly, the bulk minerals are also having problems. Coal also, the downturn, less demand for power and other industries. So the shift is for those minerals which are either where our country is deficit. To ensure our mineral security, we are focusing on exploration in those areas, for those minerals specifically, rather than again exploring iron ore blocks and similar kind of bulk minerals. This is one more shift which is happening. Our exploration agencies like GSI and Mineral Exploration Corporation have already started shifting over their strategy to exploration in those areas. Another area where some rare earths and offshore areas which have never been explored in India are also being given a push by the government. The Offshore Area Development Act also has been proposed to be amended. There is a proposal which is already in the public domain on our website, and I would request people who are interested in it, industry people, and even academic interest kind of people who do research, to go through it, suggest further amendments or give suggestions, so that when the final bill comes up, it is more robust and helpful to the industry development of offshore areas, because there is a potential of many of the minerals which are not available on land to be explored in the offshore areas. That is another policy initiative. He mentioned that the consequence of Govt committee was that the National Mineral Policy came into being in 2008. Of course, the Govt committee report talks a lot about sustainable development, including social impact and other things. The National Mineral Policy is being reviewed again. There is a committee constituted by our ministry to review the National Mineral Policy. I would request in this forum that those who want to make suggestions, they should make suggestions to that committee. The committee's task is to develop a new policy, National Mineral Policy, before 31st of December 2017. And our target is, I am the member secretary of that committee. So I would request people to read the policy, suggest new things, make it more progressive. Participation of private sector maybe may have to be introduced in a bigger way, because there is a limit to what government can invest in exploration and other things. So this National Mineral Policy will have another round of rigor for sustainable development of mining sector. The genesis of this review of National Mineral Policy is that the Supreme Court in one of the judgments has directed. Then if you read the judgment, then you will realize that it talks about sustainable mining in probably 80 pages. So those are a lot of guidelines for the ministry and for the mining industry in a broader sense. So the current sustainable development framework will have to be pushed, and much more rigorous sustainable development initiatives have to be taken by the ministry and the mining industry to fulfill the new mineral policy initiatives. So let's work together, I think, to develop a policy which is implementable and it is comparable to the best in the world, I guess. That is the whole intention. These are the policy initiatives which we have taken about the social impact part of the sustainable development in the mining sector. All of us know in the amendment to the Act, the District Mineral Foundation was set up. But later on, the targeted approach was initiated through a government scheme called Pradhan Mantri Khanij Kshetra Kalyan Yojana. It's called PMKKY. And that mandates a particular category of projects to be included for the mining areas, development of those areas, and it includes a lot of environmental issues to be taken care of, drinking water issues to be taken care of. You mentioned about the treatment for chromium-6 in one of the mines, and all these things add up. Some of the initiatives are being taken under the CSR initiatives also by bigger companies who come within the framework of CSR. They are doing it, but then under the mandatory District Mineral Foundation activities, also this scheme has mandated targeting of those funds into a particular area. A lot of activity is picking up now in Jharkhand and Odisha, which are major mining states. And over a period of time, I guess, this will result in bigger social impact and involvement of the communities in the participation by the mining industry. Currently, that's all the ministry is doing and the government's initiatives are there. And I'll stop here. if anybody has any questions, you can address it later. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bipul. Pathak. A lot of work going on as usual in the Ministry of Mines. And it's always better to keep on reviewing your policies at a regular intervals because you have to move forward keeping in view the changing times. Now I'll request Mr. Sanjay Jha to share his thoughts with all of us. You can do a self-introduction unless you are doing the introduction.
And now we have Mr. Sanjay Jha, Vice Chairman and Chief Executive of Hari Hari Recyclable Private Limited. He is a major force in the waste management industry in India. An entrepreneur, he works on various disruptive ideas across the globe. We welcome you, sir. And now we would like to invite you to address the gathering.
At the outset, I would really like to thank Harsha for really organizing such an amazing event where such high profile government official, politician, including the minister, and have come and given the view on this industry, that's sustainable extractive industry and sustainable development. And right from the morning, you see a lot of thoughts have come in from the industry, especially the coal mining sector, the environment view from the secretary coming in, and a lot of views coming from panelists, including this panel, which is amazing for the whole mining industry. And I'm really feeling very knowledgeable today, because mining is not my area, frankly. It is very much unlike the whole topic which Sanjay Srivastava has said, divine endowment, that is minerals. I have totally opposite topic to talk about, that is undivine, demonic, and man-made, whatever it is in terms of man-made, that is waste management, totally. One of the most unrespectful and unglamorous industry I belong to. And basically, it is what I would say the last point of man in terms of the whole value chain, the food chain, the supply chain. If you analyze these three things very, very prospectively, the value chain, which is completely integrating a 360-degree approach, the value chain, and then the food chain, which is right from the farmer chain, where you have production happening, you have mining happening, you have extraction happening, and then really creating a supply chain. That is the whole supply chain. How do you actually visualize the whole 360-degree chains? This is a very important subject matter across the world, and today, after Swachh Bharat mission, a lot of awareness has come in this sector. Very unglamorous, as I said, very unglamorous. And yet, a lot of topic, a lot of people speaking about the sector. What do you exactly mean by waste? You know, it is such a thing which this industry, which is extraction industry, is facing in terms of the minerals and waste, all this. In our industry, we are facing a totally different thing, which is totally man-made. Now, we look at waste from various aspects. Typically, if you look at India, there's 43 million tons of waste which is produced every day. 43 million tons, which is a huge amount. And there's about 150,000 tons of waste. This is actually every day has to be collected. Now, there are more than 4,415 cities which are being catered as a waste management area by the Government of India. Now, we are looking at really topic, why this topic has come in a totally, because one is, this is a whole man-made problem. And unlike, it's not a God-made problem, so it's a man-made problem. And there's no solution to this problem today. because we look at waste from, say, municipal solid waste, which I said this just the figures. There's biomedical waste, which is actually hospital waste, which comes in from various sectors of hospital, like syringe, like all these, and then you convert that. There's basically hazardous waste, which is produced by the industry in a major way, which is like all these chemicals, and they are produced by, and there's no way to how to recycle them. So essentially, we look at waste from these aspects. What I would like to actually point out is that how do we